Yo, it's Underground Rap News. Today we're going to be here interviewing MMI. Before we start, make sure y'all like and subscribe and comment to help support us and support MMI. So we're just going to jump right into it. First question I have for you is how did you come up with your artist name?
So whenever I first started thinking about making music, um, I didn't really know what I wanted to have as my name. I wanted to use my initials, to be honest, because my favorite artist at that time was NF, and his name is Nathan Firestein.
Mhm.
But it didn't really fit, and I kind of kept going. I hadn't released anything, but whenever I did started writing and started really trying to have something to release, because I knew I had to make something that was good enough to release. I had to have a name, and I was listening to a song by Lecrae, and one of his songs was about him talking about himself, and I thought, well, I'm doing this myself. I'm writing this myself. I'm recording this myself. I wasn't that good, but I was producing this myself. At that time I was using GarageBand, and
Mhm.
I said, this is all done by me, myself, and I. And I went, wait a minute, MMI. And it just kind of stuck. And I told a couple of my buddies, I told my father, I told my mom, and everybody just thought it was unique. Ain't nobody really come up with a name like that. Everybody told me so. I don't know. It just kind of stuck.
Mhm. All right. So what city did you grow up in?
Well, I kind of moved around a little bit. From the beginning, like from the beginning of school and everything, I lived in Ashland, Kentucky, and then up until ninth grade, I want to say it was around basketball tryouts. So I want to say about October. It was the end of October, November, something like that. I moved to Washington State. I lived out there for 11 months, and then I moved back for life happened, and then I was back in around the same area for about 4 months. Then I moved back up to where I'm at now. I moved in with my father. Now I live with my fiance, but um, I haven't really grew up really anywhere. I've been everywhere.
Mhm. All right. So how old are you now?
I'm 22 years old.
All right. So how would you describe your childhood and what would you say led up to you pursuing a career in music?
Well, see, I actually got to thinking about this the other day. I've always felt different. I've always felt like an outcast.
Mhm.
Like I had friends, but I didn't really have friends. You know what I mean? Like I had friends that I would talk to, but now that I look back at it, they didn't really want to talk to me. So I don't know. I was like that annoying kid that like I don't know. A lot of people told me I was special. Like I was different. Like there was something about me that just kind of made sense, but they didn't really know how. Um, and but to further the answer to your question, whenever I lived in Kentucky, the first time for most of my life, like I said, I felt like an outcast, and then I moved to Washington State, and I got confused. Um, and that's whenever I started diving deep into listening to music, and I
Mhm.
started really paying attention to all the lyrics, and I started to understand what double entendres were, and which I
Mhm.
thought that was fucking insane. Like somebody can come up with something like that. I want to be able to do that. Well, I just kind of moved on, kind of kept listening and just enjoying the moment. Um, and then, like I said, I wanted to try it. I was listening to NF and I was rapping NF warm up, notepad, reel, and therapy session and
Mhm.
intro. And I was rapping the lyrics made out of this. I made a little microphone out of a little card. And I was like, what if people were screaming out my lyrics? And then I just kind of started. And then I don't know, it just kind of kept going. And then I was doing it for a little bit. And then I was wondering why I was doing it. And then my mom passed away. and then it went from something that was, making me feel different. I was saying, fuck what people think, man. I got to do something for myself. You know what I mean? It became a therapy. So, and I feel like if things hadn't happened the way that they did, I probably wouldn't have developed as an artist and as a person the way that I have.
Yeah. So, what was the story behind the first song you ever dropped, and what led up to that?
Um, well, whenever I first started releasing, I was on SoundCloud, and
Mhm.
I did I didn't cuss in my music. I didn't really know what to talk about, but I could sing. And I went to church. I was in the choir, and I wrote a song, and I sang it at church, and I said, "This is good." It was not good, but I feel like any artist, their first song ain't good,
Yeah, for
but it's
sure.
definitely it's the start of something. Um, but I don't know. I had like a breakthrough mentally. I was like, oh my God, this opened up something I've never done. So I guess that is played a big part in everything.
Mhm. All right. So, when did that first song drop?
Oh my God. Uh 20 uh 2017.
All right. So, who would you say some of your biggest inspirations are?
Well, from the very beginning, NF 100%. Uh a lot of people they like to shadow and like be an artist that is already an artist, and they don't like be themselves. And I really sounded like just another NF, like another NF clone or whatever, or Eminem clone, as you will, because he's based off of Eminem. But anyway,
Mhm.
uh, I kind of translated everything to make my own sound.
All right. So, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your career, and how did you overcome them?
Um, well, this kind of almost goes back to the previous question, because at that time I kind of got lost. Like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Um, and I started diving into like melodic stuff. And then at that time, I did not even know what auto tune was.
Mhm.
And now, obviously, I used it. I used a lot of other plugins that I didn't then. Um, and but my biggest challenges for today was just trying to find the sound that I wanted to have. Um, I remember one of the uh, one of the main memories that I got of everything was I made a song and it was called Zone.
Mhm.
And my homie said I had to make something catchy. If I He'd heard me sing, he said, "Man, you can sing. I know you can stay on key. You don't know it yet, but I know you can." And I made something catchy, and somebody told me, "Well, that's whack. That's trash." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." Well, like 5 people I showed to, everybody said it was trash.
Mhm.
And I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody
Yeah.
been pushing me forward, and the first time I ever got hate. Um, but I just kind of had to learn to overcome that. And I feel like that's a one of the biggest struggles that every artist in the industry has to face with day to
All
day.
right. So, what would you say has been the biggest achievement in your career so far?
Um, well, just here recently, I just got on all platforms,
Mhm.
and I'm very excited for that. But my biggest achievement I'm still kind of, even though it's been a long time I've been doing this, I still haven't done a humongous amount. But
Hmm.
my biggest achievement was probably getting to do my first show.
All
Um,
right.
it went bad because I didn't really have a great stage performance, but that was the first greatest achievement. But as far as performing wise, I performed in Morgantown, West Virginia,
Hmm.
and I it was called the Liquid Lounge. And
Oh yeah, I've
I,
heard of that place.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's real nice in there, man.
Yeah.
They one of the artists come up to me and told me, "Man, I have performed here multiple times. I've been to many shows here. You lit this bitch up." And
Hmm.
that meant a lot to me because that was by one of the artists that was popping out. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
no, it was slowly turning from underground West Virginia to I'm everywhere. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I said to myself, I said maybe one day I can say that to somebody else. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know. It was something internally to me that meant a lot.
All right. So I'm sure the fans are wondering, do you have any new music in the works right now, and when can we expect your next release?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yo, we always be working.
Hmm.
Um, obviously I have a job, so I don't get to write and record as much as I would like to,
Hmm.
but whenever I get the chance, I definitely take that opportunity. I've got music dropping on the 14th of this month or this coming month, and I got a song dropping on the 31st of
All right.
this month.
All right. So what are some of your goals that you'd like to accomplish by the end of 2024?
I would like to be able I would like to be able to go on social media and make a post and I actually see some feedback. Like I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of underground artists on the come up, but not they haven't earned that title yet, you know what I mean? But like they've just started out. I want to be able to engage, have actual conversations with people,
Hmm.
and go out show to show and I don't think I'm gonna get an actual tour in. I'm gonna be getting involved with the spring tour with Darney Promotions. That's gonna be lit as fuck. But that's in Parkersburg, Athens, Ohio, and Morgantown, West Virginia. Um, but I definitely want to be able to pull more shows.
All right. So my next question for you is, would you ever sign to a label? And if you did, what would that ideal contract need to look like?
Well, if I were to sign to a label, I would have to own my masters.
Hmm.
And I feel like that is something like everybody's got a price. I was just talking to one of my family members about this today. Everybody's got a price. You know what I mean? But just because you offer me $100 million, a lot of artists don't understand that you got to pay that money back.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, unless if you own your masters, you're not really making any money. So I would have to own my masters or at least have partial ownership. And I feel like I would be ahead of a lot of artists even if I just owned partial.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as what would it have to look like? Um, obviously I don't need no $100 million deal to get that to, sign to a
Hmm.
label, but it would have to be at least, you know, 60-40. I ain't about no 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
All right. So who are the top three artists you want to collab with someday?
Man, I tell you what though, man, that little skies though. I be liking little skies. I want to collab with him. I want to collab with little skies. Um, haven't really put a whole lot of thought into it because I've been trying to focus on here and now. But I'd love to collab with Lil Skies. I'd love to collab with NF, and definitely Lil Wayne. And I guess if I had to do my full list, it would be Lil Skies, NF, Lil Wayne, and Corday.
All right. So, who's your favorite artist you've collabed with so far?
Um, well, I'm gonna have to say Masai. That song is unreleased, coming soon. Do not have a date for that, but everybody will see it eventually.
All right. So, out of all the songs in your entire discography, what would you say is the favorite song you've made?
Single or collaboration, or it doesn't matter.
Anything, just overall.
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of them. I like. I made a song called "Switch Up," which that was probably my one of my favorites. Um, had a lot of fun making the song with Masai. It's probably in between those two.
All right. So, what would you say is the biggest thing that makes you different from other artists?
So I feel like I've been given the gift of. I know it's gonna sound a little cocky, but I don't give a fuck what people think of me. As
Mhm.
long if you like my music, that's wonderful, man. You know, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. If you don't like it, I get it, man. You know, just because you don't like vanilla ice cream don't mean that you got to shit all over the name and try to get it taken off the goddamn shelves.
Yeah.
Just like Tom McDonald said, change the song, turn off the TV, close the book. Don't be a bitch. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, what are some of your hobbies outside of music?
Um, well, like I said, I have a job. Um,
Where do you
but
work?
I work at a production company. It's called, or well, I'm not legally allowed to say the name, but it's a plastic recycling company.
All right.
Um, but my hobbies, I don't do it a whole lot because, like I said, I work a lot and I don't have a lot of time because all the time, my free time, I try to spend making music. But I like playing games. I like playing video games. I like spending time with the family. Um, I like to I like to listen to music. Um, I like to sit outside, and it's not really meditation, but like whenever I lived in Kentucky, in Ashland, Kentucky, I was actually in Rush, but basically Ashland. I lived out in the country, and I learned really quickly. It's so peaceful to just sit outside, put put your earphones in, and just sit outside and watch the birds or whatever. That's one of my favorite things to do.
All right. So, what would you say is your biggest red flag in a girl?
Oh shit. I seen this in the other ones. I didn't think I'd get it. Ah, well, you caught me off guard. Well, it's okay to not know what you want, you know? But like, I mean, I can't really say much because I feel like I found the one, you know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
engaged. I'm happily engaged. I have a wedding date set and everything. Um, but I feel like the biggest red flag is like, uh, say no to crazy. I went through that.
Mhm.
Um, uh, but like, I don't know. If you if they know what they want, that's great. If they don't know what they want and they want to play games, listen, bro, you trying to get up on Fortnite? Let's play. You want to play games with my head? Fuck you. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
Yeah. All right. So, what would you say is the biggest green flag in a girl?
all right. This is the question where I know what to say. Um, so I feel like the biggest green flag would be if you can have a conversation and it seems so easy and you have like it seems so easy and it's obviously, you know, you're gonna fight, you're gonna argue. If you don't fight, you don't argue, there's something wrong. But I don't know. Like if it seems easy and you're free to you're not afraid to say something and you know you're not going to be judged and you know you can open up. Like I suffer from depression
Mhm.
really bad and I've opened up to my fiance about that. Um but I don't know if you can open up, you can have fun and it's not all about sex. I feel like you might have the one.
Yeah. All right. So, what are some of your favorite sports?
Um okay, I'm really bad at it, but I love basketball.
Mhm.
Um I love football. Um I'm gonna get hate for it, but I've tried tennis a few times. But I mean, I like to be active, so really, I don't care what it is. I mean, we gonna have fun, whatever we're doing, even if I lose.
Yeah. All right. So, what are some of your favorite video games?
um, GTA 5, number one. Um, I'm waiting on that number six though.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's not on the regular Xbox One. Got to watch your shit on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy me a new one. But GTA 5, I like Call of Duty. Um, I like Fortnite. I'm actually all right at that one. Um, I love NBA 2Ks and I love Madden NFL. Uh, I like the soccer. I like a lot of sports games, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And what's it called? Forza Horizon, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I'll be making my own races and just driving around like 100 miles just so I can do it again.
Mhm. All right. So, what's your all-time favorite fast food restaurant?
Chick-fil-A.
That's valid. All right.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite clothing brand right now?
Well, being the fact, so obviously the fact is I can't get designer or Gucci, even though I like those. What I be wearing is it's called Guess. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have some guest clothes.
Yeah. I be liking Guess. Uh, I don't know what it's called, but the I wore it at my last show. The X circle and smile with like paint and whatnot.
Yeah, I know
You
what
know
you're
what
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I really be loving that. I actually minus the hat and the shoes, I had a whole outfit of that.
Yeah.
That's just fire. But as far as like whether I can afford it or not, I mean, I'm not gonna go and try to say, oh well, I'll be liking Louis V or I'll be liking designer or Gucci. Like, I don't know. If it looks good and it feels good and you feel good, man, you can go to American Eagle and make a bomb ass outfit. You can go to Walmart and make a bomb ass outfit. But you know, you got Guess or you got uh the X and O thing, then that's the way to go for me
Yeah.
anyway.
All right. So, what are some of your dream cars that you want to buy after you blow up and get rich?
So I know it's automatic. I want me a Hellcat,
Hmm.
but if I want to, if I since I mean that's not the only one. I want a Hellcat. I'd like. I don't know what it's all about, like the whole Range Rover shit. Like, it's okay. Bring the kids to the park. Don't race.
Hmm.
I don't think. But I want me a Bugatti. You know what
Yeah.
those are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're nice.
But like, I've also thought about. I've also like motorcycles. So like, I'd like me. I'd kill myself if I got me a goddamn crotch rocket. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to get one of them like Kawasaki or Suzuki ones.
Hmm.
We're gonna go speeding down the road.
Yeah. All right. So, what would you say are some of the biggest things that motivate you to keep grinding?
um, well, seeing how low I've gotten mentally and where music has took me mentally, the places it's took me as far as shows, the people it's helped, brought me to. Um, definitely all those things, they definitely come into play. Um, I've been like I say, I suffer from depression.
Hmm.
Um, and it helps me like there was a point in time in my life that I almost quit music because I almost ended my life.
Hmm.
And whenever I found myself, I'm just motivated every day because I know that if I wake up tomorrow, I can make that hit. And
Yeah.
also, if I can make a song that I enjoy, that's awesome. I can make a song that can do the same shit it does for me, for somebody else. That's great, you know.
Hmm. All right. So, who's the goat of rap in your opinion?
Um, well, nowadays there's subgenres of rap anymore. I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, I could be like everybody else and try to say Cardi. I could be like everybody else and try to say Cuddy. But I mean, I like Gone.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think I have, no.
Gawne. Gone. Look him
Oh,
up.
oh yeah, I think I have heard him before.
He just recently released a collaboration with Shaquille O'Neal. Yes, he not only drops dunks, he drops bars. Gone is fucking nuts. Um, he's definitely on the come up right now. I feel like he's very underrated. As far as mainstream though, uh, I feel like Lil Skies in a
Hmm.
way because he kind of started a big thing that that quickly died off. But I be looking at the numbers though. I think Lil Sky's coming back for round two.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so my final question for you is what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give to other artists?
Always be yourself, man. If you ain't yourself, who the fuck are you? Because at the end of the day, you know, like there's there's never gonna be another MMI. Like,
Hmm.
sure, somebody else could come up and do the same kind of style that I do and name themselves MMI. But at the end of the day, like only you can be you. You feel me? And as corny and as cheesy as it sounds, you are the best you. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody can be you better than you. And as long as you are yourself and just try to enjoy it, man. Like, don't sweat the small stuff, bro. If you gotta re-record a song, re-record, even if you gotta wait a little bit, you know what I mean? Re-record that song in a way that you have just as much, if not more fun than you did the first time around. Because
Yeah.
I cannot stress it enough. Like, okay, I'll go in and go in depth. Switch up. I recorded that song 3 motherfucking times. First time, it was good, but I knew I could do better. Second time, I thought it was pretty good, but I could do better. The third time, shit, I had to make sure that I kept working because I'd get halfway through it and I'd want to listen, you know. So I mean, but as long as you having fun, you know, you do you, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's all we have for today. Make sure y'all go check out MMI's music. He's got a ton of bangers out right now. And make sure y'all subscribe to stay tuned for future interviews and send me a DM on Instagram if you want to be interviewed next. Thanks for watching.